Been busy, busy here helping Trout Token out. If you guys want to come hang out, we're looping the creator fees back into the chart, and we're basically just giving away money to people, giving away USDC, giving away Trout Token, whatever. Not financial advice. This is purely for fun. It's all to give back to the community. I'm not profiting anything off this other than the creator rewards. And I'm looping them back in the chart or taking very minor profits. I've not sold a single token. So, not financial advice. Don't have to buy this. But, anyways, we're going to start off with Twitter. So, ever again to my now stop tweet. What is the now stop tweet? For those of you who don't know who Vol Signals is, this is Dan. Dan is a former market maker from Belvedere. It's a very smart man. He's built arguably the best gamma hedging tool in the space, market maker positioning tool in the space. Fantastic stuff, right? So we're going to go into this in depth now. But essentially, gamma profile imbalance. What does this mean? So this is put minus call gamma by spot in billions. What do you guys see here with the whole 7,000 strike going on? I'm going to let you guys take this in and figure out what's happening. Yeah. Okay, right? So let's take that into a factor. But the now stop tweet, this gets tweeted. It's got tweeted in the COVID crash. It got tweeted in the April tariff crash. This is the closest he thinks it's going to get for the next SP 500 crash, or at least downtrend start. And I agree with this, and I've been screaming for this for months that it's soon. And I was so right. I was so right that, one, we were never, ever going to get above 7,000, or at least close to it. And I called this back in, November, that we might tap it, but we would never accept above it. And what's been happening? We got 1 tap, 2 tap, 3 tap, 4 tap, 5 tap today. Right? So what happened today? We started off there, sank nearly 100 points, and then bounced up, but closed under 69.50. That's one thing. I want to do something different today and go in here with you guys and see this live instead of just giving the images. I mean, I guess we can use the April positioning, but technically we should only use the March positioning, as that's what the quarterly expiration is. So what do we see here? Uh-oh, pardon me. What do we see here kind of at the 7,000 strike, right? What do we see? Negative hedging here. Gamma clusters up here. This, I think of, okay, what's going on here? We know red is basically puts, or at least customer strikes that are being hedged. And we know green is basically customer calls that are also being hedged to the upside. But when I look at this, I think, okay, green is resistance until it's accepted above. And that would mean dealer buys the dip, sells the rip. Red is different. So red can kind of act similarly, but in the sense of opposite. So this would technically act as resistance, and the inventory would be bought back once you push above. But it also means right now they are short through this range. So when I'm looking at this positioning, and this is, again, I've been so firm on why 7,000 was not like a good level to be at, right? You pretty much just all resistance up through here. Like nothing's going to happen. You can see the total calls here as I hover over them, whatever, sold versus bought, whatever, right? But I'm looking at this and going, oh my God, is the S&P about to crash, right? And there's nothing really here to save us in terms of hedging mechanics, and we just have all resistance through here, and no one wants to be a buyer at the highs and push through. So the 70-80 roughly is like huge resistance. There's not, like, you can't really go higher. Like, there's nothing going on, right? So we have all this downside hedging going on here, right? So what happens is if we blast through these zones, dealers have to hedge to the downside. So they'll hedge at it to the upside, but they'll hedge down it when you break through it. So they'll sell the dip, buy the rip, right? A little bit opposite towards how the strikes on the green work. Or sorry, the green strikes work. So I'm thinking, oh my God, the CTA sell position is 6,700. So for those who don't know what a CTA is, it's a commodity trading advisor. Why is there 40,000 puts here and only 5,000 calls? And why is there 305 puts up here minus 20,000 calls? Pretty weird, right? And I'm thinking, okay, what's coming up in the next few days? I mean, we have a little bit of economic data. Like, we can go take a look at that real quick. Like what could be going on here? It's not really anything too overly awesome or creative. I mean, what do we got going into February? Yeah, FOMC minutes, unemployment claims, GDP, whatever. But we also have NVIDIA earnings coming up towards the end of the month. And when is that? Right? This thing has done nothing for God knows how long, right? It's just been chopping around here doing fuck all, right? They report on the 25th. So I'm looking at this thinking, like, why would this happen? Like, there's got to be some weird issue under the surface, something. Something's got to be wrong, because why? What is going on with the position down here right where the CTA sell limit is? You guys know? I don't. But I have an idea. If I'm looking at positioning and thinking, okay, we're not going above 7,000, that's pretty much confirmed, right? We just confirm in these two tweets. We've looked at other data before as well, right? You know, if we want real quick, I'll hop over to the index. I mean, our EMAs are catching up, right? The VIX is still not being sent down. It's not going lower. It's moving higher. What else can we look at? Yields are elevated, but they're still range bound. Yen and the DXY are kind of just doing their things. The yen's down, if anything. I guess its health is improved. JP Morgan and the boys and the XLF, though, are starting to get a little to the corrective side. Huh. Well, that's weird. Well, what happened with oil, gold, and silver in recent weeks? Lots of volatility. Now, why would that happen? Why would these sell off? Why are credit spreads rising for both the option side and the yield-adjusted side? Well, the SPX is still at all-time highs. Why could that be? I have a couple theories, probably not enough to cover today because it is just the Wednesday video. But I think someone's blown up under the surface, and I think some cracks are about to be announced very soon. And these are fresh strikes. Fresh. And mind you, this is just showing what's going into March. This is not what's going into April either, right? We want to just focus on the quarterly right now before we go into quarter two. I think someone knows something's up. Another thing to add to this, make sure our expirations are right, should be. Why would dealers have so much inventory at these levels here? What could be going on here for dealers to need to be this net short? So how does market making positioning work? They stay delta neutral. They are taking the opposite side of this trade. Basically, someone wants these strikes, right? Someone wants to buy these strikes. So they have to do the opposite of what the customer's doing, right? Because they need to hedge to keep it delta neutral. Right? Let's say we get a crazy pop in the VIX. Uh-oh. Okay, sorry, the chart's all mixed up. Let's say we get a crazy pop in the VIX here, and this inventory has to get bought back, and they have to hedge this inventory, while also doing the opposite in the SPX. So think of it this way, those red strikes in the SPX, when we break to 6,700 and below, they have to hedge that downside. This is inverted, where the VIX rises and they have to hedge the upside. That is weird to me. Like, very weird going into March. Like, very weird. I mean, not only has the XLF struggled as well, but I mean, look at the NASDAQ, where it's trading nearly a full 1,000 points. It was almost 2,000 points below the high. And tech has been noticeably lagging, right? Like, even just from EMA perspective, pretty bad, right? Why was breadth so overextended into the early part of this week, and it failed to make a new high, and now it's on the way down again? I think there's some cracks under the surface, and I'm very confident about that. And I think the most profitable strategy you can do right now, I think to fund your downside protection in the SPY, let's say, I think the March calls, you just sell the 70-30 and 70-40 naked call and buy the downside protection to 60, 80, 60, 70, whatever you're comfortable with. So your naked calls up here that you would sell would fund your downside protection. This is not financial advice. And then you could just buy the lower strike wherever you wanted. And then you have a double hedge system there. Because you're not going higher. But you could also just cover your downside protection if you wanted to hedge downside. And I've been saying, downside's cheap. Very cheap. Right? I'm pretty sure we're going to crash soon. Or at least go through a big fucking fuck you correction kind of style. And I think it's going to be fast. I think it's going to be violent. And I think a lot of liquidity from a lot of big companies like OpenAI gets completely pulled from under the surface. Right? I don't think it's going to be good. I don't know the exact date, but if I had to guess, these are fresh positions in both the SPX and the VIX. I think it's no later than March. It could be as quick as a few days or even weeks. Okay? So, listen. I'm not one to tell you guys what to do. I'm not your financial advisor. Whatever. But I will say this. Something's wrong. Something is very wrong. It is not normal to have this type of positioning right now. Especially near all-time highs. Unless the inevitable is going to happen. And I'm firm on that. And I called the Bitcoin crash perfectly. I knew this was going to happen. Someone was over-leveraged somewhere. And there's issues. There's major issues. And Bitcoin always does this before it goes through corrections, right? Before stocks go through corrections. Always does some violent move and then stocks chase after. Something is wrong. Very wrong. Okay? Now is not the time to be looking for upside. The pain trade is up. The easy trade will be down soon. The whole market only goes up forever narrative is like fully about to whipsaw and kick everybody's fucking ass who's not ready for it. So, full transparency on my positioning. I'm hedged on both XLF shorts, SVIX puts, VIX hedges, and downside protection in the SPX. You guys do what you want, but I think going into March and April, you are going to get an absolute ass ripping. And when this CTA limit sell-off happens and these strikes go in the money and dealers have to hedge this downside, you are going to see circuit breaker days. Okay? And I'm not trying to scare anybody, whatever, but I've been saying for months that it's time to sell while everything's still at the highs, or at least time to de-risk and take some profits. I'm not your advisor. I can't give you financial advice, but I am the most 100% confident that this happens no later than the end of March with how this positioning is. Okay? So, again, I'm not your financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do. That is my very firm stance opinion. All right? So, let's leave that there for now because it's Wednesday. And remember, Wednesdays are shorter update videos. Sunday, we'll talk more like hourly long videos, okay? Same thing. VVIX is still holding 100 pretty good. Right? Let's look at just TPO here on the SPX real quick. What's been going on? We've done nothing but hold this line I drew back here on the 29th of January. We've held it. We've held it. It's been perfect. Right? We filled single prints. We left some single prints here. We filled single prints back here. Nothing really to do here. We have a 2-day composite here, and that's pretty cool. But there's not really anything here to help us out. Right? And we still have our big single print here back at 6,700 that was not filled. It is going to ruin some people. I know it's going to happen soon. Yeah, I guess my best prediction was January that we were going to see this unwind. And I think we will. I think it'll be right around NVIDIA earnings, personally. Right before, right after. Like, right that general spot. And I think March is more severe. Be a really weird repeat if we did this similar to crash, similar to how we did last year where it was March, April. Right? Wouldn't that be weird? But let's talk bit scam real quick. Because it's been just fucking people. I love Bitcoin. Bitcoin's great to trade. what do we have? Huge multi-day composite here. We can add this composite in here. We have another one here. This multi-day composite didn't hold. So actually, what we'll do is a backstep. What do? We held this point of control perfectly. We couldn't break the value area high, couldn't hold the point of control, rejected out the point of control. And rejected off the point of control there. Look at that. This was today's profile, and rejected right down into a new composite area. Something's wrong here again, and I think the boys are getting ready for the next big move. Okay. ETH is still below 2K. It couldn't hold above. Sol's getting a beating. There's some problems, right? I don't even know what to say here. Realized the whole entire time I was on the wrong TPO chart. But anyways, it's the same. I just was on 15-minute, and I had it set at 30-minute. Pardon me. How about we take a quick look at the weekly, because we didn't do it while we were watching the Super Bowl. Yeah, nothing to do. Can't even break out. It's not even trying to fill these single prints. And there's somebody sitting here at 82 with like a $2 billion sell order. So clearly, market maker stuff, they want that downside. They don't even want to fill up high. Okay, so don't think you're rallying into this. It's not even fucking possible. It's not going to happen. You're not getting back into 80s. Anyone who says that on Twitter is fucking retarded. Don't listen to it. Okay? Something kind of funny that's going on with Bitcoin is like remember how I said that this cycle was so similar to 2018 and 2019? I've been saying that for like months. Look at this. So what day did Bitcoin find a bottom? Is the 6th of February, 2026, right? 2018, when Trump was in office, the 6th of February, 2018, before it rallied up and set a lower high into March, which I think it's going to do. Or maybe it's already done. I don't know. Maybe we still have to set that lower high. Remember, not all cycles are one-to-one. Some of them are similar. But it set a lower high before a new equal low to another lower high before a lower low, or another lower high before the next lower low. And I think that's what it's going to do. Whether this is the lower high now, I don't know. It could be. It could be. We could literally just do something like this. I don't know. We could just waterfall. Or we could do something like this and just keep these equal highs and go down again. Or sorry, not equal highs, lower highs. I will say this. There is no bottoming signal left in Bitcoin. Like, not even close. There's nothing to try here and say that this is the bottom. Anyone saying that does not know what they're doing, does not know how to trade, is wrong, and don't listen to it or you will get wrecked. I mean that. When we look at the SMAs, just on the higher time frame, we've lost all our big SMAs. Right here, I guess I'll turn the 100 on here just to kind of visualize it. We lost our 100. Next goal here is the 200. This thing is kind of moving up towards 60K. We'll see. But every time that happens, when you lose the 100, you go test the next larger time frame SMA. Always happens. Okay? So I think that happens. And I think what we'll get here is some crazy downside, and we'll find like if this repeats like the last cycle, we'll find a low kind of in the late half of this year, and then a rally up into like the middle of next year before wiping out those gains again. That would be weird if we did that, but I actually do think it's possible just by like how this cycle has gone. It's weird to say. I actually think it's possible. I'm not saying that is my full conviction yet. I want to see what happens in the later half of this year and the first quarter of next year. But I would not be surprised if we went through massive capitulation first in a weird rally and then wiped out half the gains. And I've said that. Like, I said we'd probably get a mid-year rally in equities and stuff, and we still might. But if this backfires and goes down like it did, I don't know anymore. Okay? But I will say this from a different perspective. Like, looking at something like USDT dominance. Go back to this chart. Wrong chart. You're not even close to bottoming yet. You're up here right now. You got to get down here towards 9 or 10% at least. Right? So if we did that, let's say in the fourth quarter this year, I mean, you'd still have to come down to at least 9.5% at least. and we're still sitting there at 8. So we got a long way to go in terms of stablecoin dominance. Bitfinex longs, I mean, they're not stopping. They've slowed a little bit, but I think this kicks up again soon, and they start twopping a lot more. But I mean, you've lost everything, okay? So, yeah. I don't know. I don't even want to do more TA. I don't even want to go through individual stocks or indexes. I mean, it all just looks like shit. There's nothing good to take, and you can't prop a market up on 0 DTE options. It does not work, and this is why this is happening. And I knew when the naked put selling was going to start failing or getting risky, and when inventory hedging was going to change, when the Iron Condor guy blew up, I knew this was going to happen. And it's never different. Everyone thinks like, markets go up forever. Nothing. This time it's different. It's not. It never is. It never is. I think it's very, 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 very soon that this kicks off. It could be as little as 5 days. It could be 2 weeks. It could be first 2 weeks of March. I don't know. But I know this is about to happen. Okay? So this is my final warning. And if I'm wrong going into April and we're still up here, and we haven't triggered below 6,700, I said this, I'll just delete the YouTube. I'll just delete the YouTube. Okay? But I am 100% confident that this happens. Whether you go through a little bit of bleed right now on your options, whatever. I think I'm very confident with my 20% portfolio hedge, which is a lot. You should never hedge more than 1%. 20%. I'm very positive this happens, and it is going to print. And we'll come back and we'll review the P&L. Maybe not leak the P&L, but I'll at least show the percentage. Okay? But I've been right about Bitcoin perfectly. And I'm very confident this happens with the SPX. I've been right that we were not going to get above 7,000. So if that changes, I'll accept I'm wrong. But looking at what I have in front of me in terms of data, this is going to happen sooner or later, and it's not going to be fun. Anyways, that's enough rambling from me. If you guys like this video, drop a like, drop a comment. Your boy Trout. Yeah, if you got any questions, you want to reach out to me. If any institutions, firms, market makers, whoever, traders, use the Twitter, use the Telegram. I'm there. I am for hire. I'll give you insights. We do cool shit. Yeah, so let me know. Anyways, take care, everyone. We'll catch you on Sunday.